Okay, it says I'm live. So welcome to Coffee Chat with Zero Waste Artist Sandra Clarke. And today we are doing steampunk. We are making steampunk jewelry. So a zero waste artist or zero waste anything is just how it sounds. I use as little as possible, and I really try not to buy to go into too much consumerism. Consumerism makes the world go round. We do need it, but we should be, I think, a little bit more selective. Well, I should be a little bit more selective. So what I do is, for years I was, or still am, an artist, but I taught a lot. So I would have just accumulated a lot of art supplies and things that I use for art supplies. So today, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, I started this steampunk necklace, and I started it yesterday. And what I'm going for, I'll show you some examples. Oh, I went through just a whole bunch of jewelry supplies and like earrings and things that aren't even jewelry, but I'll take it. I'll use it somehow. And this one, it's very minimalist, and this just uses like old chains. They're not even the same chains. Old chains, a giant glass bead, and just things that I've had around. And then what I just put everything on a board, and I pick out the like I'll look at the board and I'll start classifying things, usually by color, and then by a theme, and then things just come together. So like this was an old earring. I only had one, and I believe this was from a relative in like just junk jewelry and costume jewelry, which like I'm 61. So I was like given a lot of like old costume jewelry by people who were like 70s, 80s, 90s. That stuff is going to be junk soon. People are going to just start throwing it away. And so soon, like we won't even be able to get the cool junk that people used to wear and things like that. It's junk, but I love it. So this is one of the necklaces. Now this is the minimalist form. So what I do is I'll make something, and usually I put too many things on, then I edit it, like take too many things off, and then I sit with it for quite a long time, and then I start adding, and it's a long process, but it turns out really cool. I don't know how this is. So this is silver and turquoise. This is off of a bracelet. I don't think I have it down here. Yes, I do. I'll get it in a sec. So this is off of a bracelet. It broke, and so I just added some jump rings and little things on it, and that's that. So that is there. Put this one back on. I'm just collecting all these things. So steampunk stuff. Steampunk is a great thing. My daughter introduced me to it. I kind of always knew it was around, but I never knew it had a word. And so steampunk, if you think of Jules Verne and Journey to the Center of the Earth and the Nautilus, what's that one with the big sea monster and stuff. Well, like late 1800s, maybe even a little bit of early 1900s. So it's a lot of like, it's industrial. So there's a lot of like gears, keys, top hats, funky glasses, and aviation goggles, things like that. So what I did is I went through my collection and I just picked out a whole bunch of things that are kind of that brassy greenish tinge and coffee brown and things like that. So this is a necklace that I bought in Florida, and these are just like broken jewelry bits that I had, and they just kept just that coloring. And I have a bunch of those. And then I ended up taking, like, I had these beads, but I don't think that goes with the coloring that I'm doing. So they might stay out. And then I just have a bunch of gears. So let me show you where I am right now. Let me turn this around. And this took a long time. So this is where I am now. So this big giant key is going to be the main part. Now it might not hang down as the center, like, so it might not hang down here. I kind of like asymmetrical, so a little off. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to spend a few minutes showing you how I put these things on. And this is a coffee chat. So today's coffee is in my little bee cup, my bee mug, and I usually always have that. So my coffee today is just a decaf and a frothy milk and a little bit of the frothy milk is skim milk, and a little bit of, I put cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, allspice, and there was a fifth one. Cinnamon, ginger, allspice. Oh, and cloves, just a little bit of cloves. It's got that that pumpkin spice type of thing going on. And then I use Steve's sugar-free syrup. I'm diabetic, so I don't do sugar. So I put that in there, and then I got this frother, this little milk frother. Oh, it's so good. So that's what today's coffee is. So we're just going to chat about steampunk and making jewelry and zero waste and hoarding. So I went through, when I was doing a lot more teaching, I'm kind of retired from teaching. I'm not doing a lot. I still will be a maker, but my husband retired 2 years ago. So I kind of started retiring with him. So I'm doing fewer classes, much fewer classes, but now it gives me time to make things. So I kind of have this goal to more or less retire, but I have this huge studio and it's packed with stuff. Like you could there's a ton of yarn there, and that's just some of it. And there's projects here that I'm working on, and they're like beads and buttons and stuff like that. And there's a lot of like floss, like what do you call it? Just embroidery floss and things like that. So what I did, what I'm trying to do to retire is get rid of my stuff. And I usually can do that when I teach, because when I teach a class, I bring everything, because when you're a zero waste artist, I can't ask students, oh, go out and get, go thrifting and look through your stuff and bring me these things to the class. So I just come to class with everything. So these are things that I bought like years ago and I'm dying to use up. So now that I'm making things more than teaching things, I can go through all my goodies and do things. So I bought these. I have 2 strands of these, perfect color for steampunk, and I'll be using those up in a whole bunch of different steampunky type of things. So let's add something. So what I do here is I do have chains, and this I think is a little sparse looking. So I am going to add things in the center, like right in between, and they're probably going to hang. So let's do that right now. Let's pick something and make it hang. So, oh, I got so many things. I don't know if I can show you. This is my, I don't know if everything's gonna fall. I picked all these steampunky things up out of my studio, and I'm going to be doing it. I got to show you this. I do get off topic, don't I? I should show you all the steampunky things. So this is not steampunky, but it's got the coloring. I love it. I thought that is great. And I probably have about 10 of those. So I have, these are all going to fall out. So I've got like all these pins and findings. So I picked all these out. And so when I have a project in mind, so I thought, okay, steampunk. And right now the trendy metal in jewelry is silver. So I do have a lot of silver, but there wasn't a lot of steampunk out because often, like, I try not to buy new, but when I do, it's things like jump rings and stuff like that, because I use a lot of jump rings, little circles that you put the jewelry together. But these are things, so I had to really go through all of my jewelry and see what I have. So these were kind of steampunky things and just had that coloring that I wanted to. So this is a pendant, and these things, like, I can't even, probably 20 years. And isn't that cool? Love it. But that didn't make the project, but that will make another project. Now there's a new Dracula movie coming out, and I found these. So really gothic, like steampunk, we did gothic, Victorian, things like that. I have this. I love this. Things get. Okay, so again, had it for years. So I've got a little, it's an Eiffel Tower. And then in Canada, we got rid of pennies several years ago, but I collected, I still had pennies, and we could still use them, they're money, but I would take them and I would pound them out, the ones that have the high copper content. I can't remember what year it was, before 98 or something, and I did things like that. So I've saved that, so that will be used in a project. Here is, so this is from just junk jewelry that I collected over the years. That's not going to make it in this one, but I picked it out. So I go through all my stuff and I categorize everything. And then when I look at things and it sort of comes together. It's like, okay, I see the coloring and I see what theme the piece of jewelry is going to be. So I love keys and gears. To me, those are the ultimate things that say steampunk. So I picked out all my keys and gears, and and things like that. Like this, again, beautiful, but not in the theme. So I picked up all my keys and my gears, and here's some of the teeny keys. Aren't they cute? But the thing is, like, so I was looking at the keys and I thought, oh, there's so many of them have hearts. So I thought, so I took out all the heart-shaped keys. There's loads of them. I used some of them. So I took out all the heart-shaped keys. Here we go. And so that's what's going to go on it. And the gears just sort of made the colors very similar. I have these things. I used to make, I love this. So these are great. You can put anything in them. And what I put in them, and here it is. I have like a bunch of old books as well. So I would just pull out a page from an old book. I don't know if you could see it. And glue it on there. And then what I did is I made a whole bunch of, I got to show you, this is cool. A whole bunch of pendants for rock, paper, scissors. See? Rock, paper, and then the scissors. So I have loads of scissors. So I can make a ton of different steampunk themed items. And then what I do, so I've got all my items, and then I said, okay, it's gears and heart keys. And I've got the coloring, and there's that rule of threes or rule of odds, that when we look at something, our eye finds it very pleasing to look at odd numbers, like 1, 3, 5, 7, things like that. That's just how things are. Like when you're styling something in your house, you got 3 vases. That looks really much better than 2 vases, things like that. Coffee time. Oh. think it's raining. So I picked 5. I thought, okay, I'm going to do 5s. So I picked out 5 gears, 5 gears, 5 keys, 5 beads, and 5 spacers, things like that. So I just picked 5 of everything. Now I might not use all 5. I might just end up, using a few things. Like I've already edited, taken things out. And then I also like to use 5 just random things that go together with it. So the random things that I picked for this project were this. There we go. That was an earring. I only had the one earring, so that's one of the things. Did I already use them? Oh, and just, like here's, just a square bead. So that's different than the beads that I'm using. And, oh yes, here we go. This I'm probably not going to use. Again, it's a heart, but I haven't decided if I really like it. And then there's this bead that I wasn't sure if it was brown or purple, but I've got that one. So I've used that. And then I'm using these I got from the Dollar Tree. Let me see if I can do this without them all falling. So that's from Dollar Tree, and I'll use those. Okay. And this one's really cool. I have a ton of these little, like they're little hoops for embroidery. And I have a bunch of cross-stitching fabric that I got, again, gifted, tons of it, cross-stitching. So what I'm going to do is I picked out, where's my, oh, here it is. So I just cut out a little piece of the cross-stitching fabric, and then I picked out that color of the DMC thread, and I'm going to make just some little emblem or something to go on that. So that is a part of the 5 different things. So I'm going to, oh yes, now this one, again, here's another thing. So I've just got too many things. Isn't that cool? That's like a little bead. So I'm going to be putting these things together. I posted a little close-up video of the items that I'm doing, that I'm working on. So it's a video of the work, not me. I put it on my Instagram and TikTok, I believe. So you can, if you want, like, please follow if you want to see all my cool stuff and things that I'm going to be doing in retirement. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and stay tuned, and I will work on this and then show you the finished product. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.